Hey, everybody. I want to teach you today how to be supportive of a breastfeeding mom and that baby. We all know how important breastfeeding is and how it can impact a baby, not only their health when they're a baby, but it can impact their health for a lifetime. So it's so important that we all get on the same page and learn how to support a breastfeeding mom the right way. And I'm here to show you exactly how to do that. Now, I have a couple of pages of notes because this is very important and I don't want to mess up. So sometimes I might be looking down at my notes. Just ignore that, okay? My number one tip is to always carry a blanket with you. Now, you'll notice this blanket right here is heavy duty fleece, and it's also camo, and it's going to become, you're going to understand the importance of what I'm talking about here in just a second, okay? So, always have that blanket with you. If you're going out in public, you need to have that blanket with you, because some moms, for some reason, they choose to breastfeed their babies in public. And they don't cover up, and they don't understand some very, very important things that they need to understand. So first of all, we need to educate these breastfeeding moms, okay? That really is pivotal to supporting them work, is to educate them. The first thing they need to understand is that it makes me uncomfortable for them to breastfeed in public without being covered up, okay? And we all know that my right to feel comfortable is way more important than that baby's right to eat, okay? That's just, we all agree with that, okay? Number two is we don't need to let our older children see a mom breastfeeding in public, because then we would have to explain to them the physiological reason that what our breasts are for. You know, we would have to explain to them that when a mom has a baby, that their breasts produce milk to feed that baby. That is just completely awkward. I mean, nobody wants to do that, right? So we need to make sure those moms remember that. And thirdly, I mean, if a grown man sees a mom breastfeeding, we know for sure that they have no idea that breasts can produce breast milk, and we don't want to have to go there. And you know, and we must admit, you know, when you throw this blanket over a breastfeeding mom, you know, nothing in this world makes them more comfortable than being hot and sweaty while trying to breastfeed their baby. And also, they like wrestling that baby. They like it, you know, like when the baby starts kicking and trying to get that blanket off of them. They like that because it gives them a little exercise for the day. So remind them of all those things. Remind them it's fun to be hot and sweaty when you're breastfeeding. It's fun to get that exercise. So remember to tell them that, okay? And also the camo, you know, we want that mom to feel completely and utterly invisible. You know, we want her to feel like she's not even there, because, you know, really and truly, if you choose not to cover up, you should probably just stay at home. Yeah, you should do that. But maybe that's the best solution. Just stay at home. Okay, let's talk about, oh my goodness, this is such an important topic. Let's talk about donor breast milk. Ew, donor breast milk. I mean, come on now. Human milk for a human baby from someone else's boob. I mean, it makes so much more sense if you think about it. Think about this, guys. It makes so much more sense to, you know, if you choose not to breastfeed, or if you choose, you know, you need to supplement for some other reason, whatever, rather than going and getting human milk for your baby, it makes so much more sense to go get canned formula that's made from cows, which is another species. You know, it just makes more sense to do that. Plus, we all know, this is such common sense, we all know that a cow's udders are so much less gross than the human breast. I mean, the human breast, gross. Ew. Okay, you're welcome for that. Again, we need to educate moms everywhere about this. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to give you a couple quick, I want you to get your notepad out. and I want you to write down these questions, because we know asking supportive questions to breastfeeding moms is just going to help them. You know, it's just going to help them. A lot of times it will help them quit breastfeeding, which is probably what they want to do anyway. So anyway, it'll help them. It'll totally help them. Okay, so number one question to ask. Let's say you see a mom breastfeeding a toddler. What you want to ask her is this one simple question: why are you still breastfeeding? Okay, see how simple that was? Yeah, that's it. You know, self-explanatory. Okay, let's say you see a really exhausted and tired mom who's breastfeeding like a newborn, who maybe is going through a growth spurt or something like that. Okay, she's exhausted, and you sit down next to her on the couch and you're like, why don't you just supplement with formula at night so you can sleep? I mean, so what if it completely sabotages breastfeeding and like reduces her supply? She'll figure that out. But just, you know, remind her that she has that option to just supplement with formula, rather than, you know, finding support or something. I don't know. Let's say you see a breastfeeding mom who's really struggling and like she's in pain. Maybe she's having some latch difficulties, or the baby has thrush or jaundice, or like I said, going through a growth spurt. She's just struggling, and she reaches out to you and she's like, man, breastfeeding is so hard. I didn't realize it was going to be this hard. This is what you're going to say to her. Don't call a lactation consultant. Don't call an expert. Don't send her to the Leche League. Just this one simple question is going to fix everything. Have you considered formula feeding? See how simple that was, guys? So just ask those questions and make sure that, you know, you say them exactly like I said it. And you know, don't, like I said, don't involve one of those wacky lactation consultants. Don't do it. You know, breastfeeding experts, whatever. Okay, so in a nutshell, just remember that the mom's choice is not important here. What's important is you being supportive. Okay, that's what's really, really important. So being supportive of breastfeeding moms takes some effort. It's going to take some practice. You may need to watch this video a couple times. You may need to like take some notes. Maybe like, you know, take some note cards with you when you go out in public, and do not forget that blanket. Okay, do not forget the blanket. All right. So hope y'all enjoyed that satire video. I've been wanting to make it for years and years and years. Hopefully some of you realized how ridiculous some of the things coming out of your mouth say, and that you are not being supportive of a breastfeeding mom when you say, I support breastfeeding except when a mom's breastfeeding in public, or I support breastfeeding, but donor breast milk is gross, or whatever. So here's the thing. My mom taught me when I was a kid, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. So if you truly cannot support a breastfeeding mom and tell her she's doing an amazing job, tell her, yes, breastfeeding is so hard, but it was going to be so worth it. And let's pretend that you don't have any breastfeeding experience. You don't have any breastfeeding knowledge. You can just say, you know what? I know you're going through a really hard time. Let's find you someone who can cheer you on through this. Let's find another breastfeeding mom who's been there and done that. Let's find a breastfeeding expert that can help you. So if you're that mom, or you're that friend who wants to help your friend get breastfeeding support, very simple. You can go to lalecheleague.org, or you can Google and find your nearest international board certified lactation consultant. I am very passionate about breastfeeding. I myself was an international board certified lactation consultant from 2003 until December of last year. So I'm no longer a lactation consultant. I am retired from the profession. I've helped over 10,000 moms breastfeed, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share it with everybody you know, because we need to get the word out, whatever it takes, to stop being mean to breastfeeding moms and start supporting them. Love you guys. Thanks for watching.